Hello. So, I wanted to outline something cool that I have just finished building and assembling. Well, not finished, but so the story is, oops, sorry, guitar. I had a bunch of pedals, and I wanted them all on a board, and a board that would fit all these pedals. I love all these pedals, and a board that would accommodate all of them would be large and expensive. So I set about building my own, which was surprisingly simple with a little bit of help and ingenuity. Not really much ingenuity, but just an idea. So I went over to my mom's house. She has weird scrap wood laying everywhere. I figured wood, I'm not a metallurgist, a metal worker, and I certainly don't have the tools to work with metal or to, meld it into any form that can accommodate pedals. So I figured I could probably build something out of scrap wood. And it was originally I just thought of cutting out a piece of wood out of a larger piece of wood and, basically just making a board. But what actually ended up happening is I found, or was told that there were these old pieces of, hang on, I can't turn my camera on, whatever. These old pieces of what is essentially ceiling paneling, like wood ceiling paneling. And I'm gonna try to lift this up. These aren't velcroed down. Eventually all these pedals will be velcroed down, but they still need some well, make sure the placement's good. But if you can tell, the bottom is wood, and it's essentially just coated with Flex Seal, the stuff that guy yells about on the commercials and stuff. What's that guy's name? He essentially was the replacement for the other commercial guy that died. I can't remember that guy's name. But he did Flex Seal and what else did he do? Doesn't matter. Anyway, so I thought this was an interesting solution to the problem. And yeah, it accommodates all my pedals, 2 power supplies, which I need because there are 14 pedals on this board. Although one of them technically is not powered, it's a volume pedal. But wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 13 powered pedals, 1 unpowered passive pedal, which is a volume pedal. But yeah, I am pretty... So yeah, one thing that was great about this paneling is it's actually only about half this width. There. So this top part is one piece, and this bottom part is one piece. So essentially, you could make smaller boards out of this, and it all fits together with these really nice. It's paneling, so it's meant to fit together with like a joint. Like they just kind of slide in together, and they're actually pretty sturdy. And once I coated it in this Flex Seal, I don't think it's gonna come apart. I guess that is yet to be seen, but I can't imagine why it would. But yeah, I put 2 of those together, chopped them to size, and then I routed, if you can see that, I just kind of used a router. I used a big router bit. The routes aren't the greatest because I'm not really a wood worker, but I just routed out channels for, cables to go through and stuff. And it was surprisingly easy. I cut a couple more pieces of scrap wood into these feet here, so it kind of rises up so the cables have a place to go. And I'm actually ridiculously happy with this. And altogether, it cost me, a board this size probably would have cost me $200. Maybe there's a cheaper alternative out there, but I couldn't find one. Really, that was under $200. That was big enough. And this cost me a trip to my mom's house, and I had to buy the Flex Seal, which is about $14. Maybe it was less than that. I think it was less than that. It wasn't that expensive. So yeah, pedal boards are ridiculously overpriced. That is the moral of this. Because I can build this, all materials considered, for like 40 bucks. It's not like expensive wood paneling. It's fairly cheap. It's sturdy as all hell. And now that it's coated in rubber, it's like a great surface for pedals to stick on. You saw that I lifted it up and none of my pedals slid anywhere. And some of them don't even have like rubber feet on the bottom. They're just like my afterneath is stuck. So is my Julia. I hope this rubber's cured all the way and I'm not getting rubber on the bottom of my pedals. But eventually I'll Velcro all the pedals down once I'm satisfied with the signal chain and the position and everything. And I'll get some zip ties to deal with the extra cable length that's running through everything. But yeah, I'm super happy about the way it's turned out. I'll give you a little look at what's on here if you didn't see before. So, I mean, we got volume pedal, tuner, this Dan Electro Daddy-O drive I got for like 30 bucks, and I actually kind of love it. It's a really, it's definitely not transparent. It's pretty tone bending, but I super like it. It's a great solidly built pedal. It's a little big and non-economical as far as size goes, but super awesome pedal. The Hot Tubes is a more transparent overdrive pedal, although I don't think it's sold as like a transparent overdrive. I think it's got a little bit of tone, like there's a tone knob here, so I imagine that it does a little bit to your signal, but it's not as bad as this one. This one changes your signal. As you'll see, I don't have any distortion because I don't really use a lot of distortion, but Phase 90, a classic, can't do without a phaser. Standard reverb, the RB6, it does some cool stuff, but I mostly just use like its super standard settings, like its plate and its spring, especially its spring setting is awesome. It's the afterneath for more weird reverbs. The afterneath is like a really cool reverb pedal, especially if you're doing like ambient, weird, big soundy stuff. The Julia, probably my favorite pedal on here. So good, chorus vibrato, and you can, kind of dial in between your chorus and your vibrato, and there's like a waveform switch. That's great. The Memory Boy, I don't know if this pedal is actually contentious. I feel like it is because the Memory Man has such like a huge following, but the Memory Boy is great. I actually find, like, when I went to buy it, it was actually between the Memory Man and the Memory Boy. The Memory Boy is like $60 cheaper, so that also might have played a little role in it. But I like its settings a little bit more. I like the fact that you can kind of change the depth, also changes the waveform, and you can kind of like, I'm guessing this means like the depth of the weird modulation thing that Memory Boy / Memory Men do, or Memory Boys and Memory Men do, is like, I don't know, I can't really describe the weird modulation thing that they do, but one way does something and the other way does something else, and it lets you more control, because on a Memory Man it's just, I don't think it's a knob, I think it was a switch. That was a while ago, so I can't really remember. You can control the feedback, and then it's got an expression input, so you can control what you're expressing. Where the Memory Man might have an expression input, but you can't really control what, it probably just controls the feedback, or the depth, or I don't know what it controls, because I didn't get to try that while I was trying it out. But this one, you have 4 expression modes, and then tap division, which is cool, and tap tempo, but I'm pretty sure the Memory Man had tap tempo too. Then I also have another cool delay. I found this in a pawn shop. It's a Wampler lo-fi delay called the Doctor, which is it's pretty cool. I actually what's the word? I guess contemplated not putting this on my board because I thought it was a little bit of overkill to have 2 delays. But this one does some really interesting sounds. It's a little more infinite than the Memory Boy, and it's a lo-fi pedal, so it's a little more ambient. Although I'm sure you can maybe find, this might end up coming off my board, to be honest. But I had the room, so I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna put it on there. And it's a great pedal, it sounds awesome. But if I were doing more ambient, like soundscapey stuff, I would probably use the lo-fi instead of the Memory Man. Or the Memory Boy, sorry, I just called the Memory Boy the Memory Man. And then the Pulsar delay, or pulsar tremolo. That's cool. That's my newest pedal. I was looking for a tremolo. I was gonna get like the TR2, I think it is, the Boss TR2. I think that's what it's called. Yes, can't remember. Yeah, I think, which is great. But this one gets a little weirder. It has these like this waveform knob here, where you can kind of adjust the waveform, like dial it in a little bit. Its rate is way more ridiculous than the TR2, and it also has this like waveform shape switch, which it's pretty interesting, this knob and this switch combined. So you can change the waveform and then change the, I don't know if you would call this like the wave. Okay, yes. So that's the waveform, and this is the shape of the wave. I thought they were labeling this as shape, and I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense because that's the waveform. But yeah, this is the shape, so you can change like where the sound, it can like start up high and then come low, or start low and come high. And also the depth is a little more deep. It can get deeper, not sound-wise, but its tremolo rises and falls deeper than a TR2 as far as I can tell. And it was pretty similar, but I think you can just get a little weirder with this pedal, and I appreciate that. And then just the MXR 10-band EQ, which I got from a friend, which was probably one of the better buys. At the time, I didn't even know that you needed an EQ pedal. Doing terrible camera work, because you can't flip the camera around while you're recording, which is a terrible oversight. Apple, I don't think so anyway. No. So anyway, MXR 10-band EQ, that's great. Also works. I mean, sometimes I'll use it as an EQ, but sometimes I'll just set the knobs, or the sliders in this case, at all at 0. And then you can just use it as a clean boost. Keep your gain in the middle and just use it as a clean boost by turning up the volume, which is 2 pedals in one basically, because I appreciate clean boost and what they do. There's just no room on this board. So I figured I'd just save the space of a clean boost and use my MXR. And then of course the Digitech Whammy puts the Pog to shame, if you ask me. This is the second level version. There's the entry level Whammy, which I don't even think has a whammy, the option to use the foot thing. I think it just has all these settings. Maybe not even the settings, I don't know. And this one has the foot switch, and then there's the one with the foot switch that does a whole lot more stuff. I've never had one, so I don't know all the stuff that it does, but this is a great pedal. Awesome pitch shifting, not pitch shifting, well, pitch adding, I don't know what you call it. It adds other pitches to your notes. It's a great pedal though, super cool. And then of course a tiny little looper at the end, because no board's complete without a loop pedal. And yeah, I'm then 2 power supplies, 1 Donner, and then the MXR DC brick, which is great because you can daisy chain a power supply from the MXR brick. I was gonna get 2 MXR bricks, but then I found out that I could just supply my old supply with the brick. So very happy with this pedal board build. Yeah, so I'm excited to get it all finished and plugged in. And as you'll see, I'm still missing some, I didn't have enough patch cables. I've never had all my pedals hooked up at once. So I still need 2, 1, 2, I still need 3 to get from my trim to my EQ. Oh, my camera work is so bad. From my trim to my EQ to my whammy to my looper. And it's a little scrunched, a little bit of a mess with the wires right now, but I'm gonna get that figured out with some zip ties. Get it all Velcroed down, and I'm super excited to get it done. And I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Moral of the story is you can build your own extensively large pedal board for minimal amounts of money. If you have a couple tools laying around, like a router and a miter. I had access to a miter saw. You could probably do it. You could do it with a jigsaw or one of those small circular saws. I don't know what those are called. circular jigsaw. It's not a circular jigsaw. I don't know what it's called, but you could probably do it with one of those too. Or a table saw, or a bandsaw. You could do it with basically any saw. You could probably do it with a normal saw. Yeah, and a bottle of Flex Seal. You don't even really have to Flex Seal it. I just wanted to do that to make it a little bit more sticky, and my routes are garbage. And when it was wooden, you could totally tell. But now that it's all covered in Flex Seal, it's like harder to tell. And then it's full of petals, it's harder to tell. See, like the ends here are a little, they're, have a certain phallic shape to them. Because at the end, I'm just not a woodworker and I don't really know how to route that well. Routed a couple things, and I didn't use the guard, like the guide guard, to keep it in one steady line while I was routing. I just kind of free-handed it, so it's not perfect, but perfection is the enemy of the good, and this thing's good. So, and it works. It's functional. So I'm really happy with it. And this, I'll ramble on for 2 more hours about it if I thought that was at all helpful to anything I'm trying to explain, and I'm probably not explaining anything anyway. I was just really excited about this, and I'm ready to get it plugged in. I just have to get 3 more patch cables, which I'll go do tomorrow. Frickin' patch cables. Oh, that's why that wasn't up there. See? Wait. Okay, there we go. Sorry, fixing things on it already. But yeah. Build your own pedal boards. Don't fall into the scam that is the pedal board industry. Pre-made, well-made pedal boards are a scam. They're not a scam. I'm just cheap, and it was fun to build. So, you know, do what you want. That's the real moral of this story. Yeah. Have a good one.